Hello, Brittany. It,
Hello.
it is very nice to meet you. This is the first time introduction. I told Brittany I'm going to blow her last name. I'm not going to say it correctly. What's your last name, Brittany?
DeGusto.
Thank you. Brittany and I just met, and I got a quick overview of her story. She does a lot with suicide prevention, and her story is a tremendous story. And I'm going to let her share it and share her different ways that she's learned to cope with living life after brain injury. So go for it, Brittany. I'm going to disappear.
Hello, my name is Brittany, as she already said. I had a brain injury back in 2018, about 3 years ago, where I had a suicide attempt. I ended up having a traumatic brain injury, an hypoxic one, where my brain just didn't get enough oxygen. And I had my brain injury because I was struggling with depression. I was autistic and I didn't know it then. And I was struggling with that, making friends and kind of coping and the socialization piece. Since my brain injury, I'm actually come a long way. Back then, I wasn't my own guardian by my choice because I didn't think I was ready. And a lot of people had a lot to say about that back then, but it was a good choice. And now I'm my own guardian. I live alone. I have an apartment. I've had to go to a place called MCIR to help with my brain injury for rehabilitation. And I did speech, OT, physical therapy. I definitely learned that as far as my brain injury, some of the ways, some of the things that help me are definitely good nutrition, finding activities I enjoy to de-stress. I do YouTube and Twitch, and I like making people laugh. I found volunteering can be helpful because it makes you feel really useful. I find that self-care is really important. Um, and I think kind of learning how to kind of help others and find that purpose. I think everyone's got one, and I didn't realize it back then when I was younger. I think my brain injury helped me have a better relationship with my mom and appreciate her more. We're pretty close. Definitely having a big support system can really help with depression. And I've definitely learned a lot of good things since then. Kind of finding a balance between screen time, outdoor time. I think getting out in the sunshine can feel really good too. I think that's helpful. And I actually got a cat. I like taking care of others. So I got a cat that I take care of, and he's pretty cute. Um, so I found a lot of new ways to cope. I like to cook. I got like this boxed Betty Crocker stuff I like to make, and I like to throw fresh veggies in there. I think my cooking skills came a long way since then. I had trouble with some daily living skills and definitely had to relearn some of that. I found, like I said, having a good support system is one of the most helpful, along with like coping skills like drawing, journaling, reading can be good. I like to do my nails sometimes. That's part of the self care that I like. And like I said, I do YouTube because I like to make people laugh. And I find that kind of if I can make others smile, then I've had a purpose for the day. I don't think we realize the effect that we have on the people around us, um, and how much we matter, even to somebody like really little. I know sometimes when I was really down, one of the best things that just helped me was, hey, you're doing good, or something little somebody said. Um, and so I like to focus a lot on suicide prevention. I help with anti-bullying groups, one of which was like Bikers Against Bullying. I like that. They ride into the school on these really cool bikes. I mean, they look pretty tough. So kids definitely look up to them. They teach about like anti-bullying and things like that. Because a lot of times it's those little things that we do that prevent, suicide, and even talking to um, the kid in the cafeteria who's really, really quiet. Um, some people tend to have a lot of social anxiety, and I did when I was younger. And some of the greatest friends I ever made were those ones that kind of came up to me, and they were really unexpected friendships. So that was cool. Um, I definitely think there's a lot of things. I think counseling can help if you're struggling with depression. There are even crisis lines that people can reach out to if they just need somebody to talk to. And kind of, you can tell when somebody's feeling down. So I think definitely reaching out to the people around you is always good. Um, I found that that I did have a lot of resilience that I didn't realize, and an ability to bounce back from things. And so trying to find ways to put that energy into good things, I think, is helpful. I actually had a cousin a few years ago who had passed away from suicide. So you definitely see the effects. Like my aunt, she gets a little sad sometimes. Sometimes I like to chat with her and just say hi. And I think sometimes that's all somebody really needs, and to focus on like the good things. Um, I babysat a lot after, and I found that a lot of the kids I had a big impact on. Um, and I didn't expect that. So that's I think a big positive in my life too. Kind of finding those little positives. I have a board that I like to do with post-it notes where you write one good thing about yourself every single day and you stick it on the wall, because it takes 7 positive thoughts to combat 1 negative. And so by doing that, you kind of build up your confidence each day. And I think if anyone's kind of feeling sad, that's a good way that you can help yourself. And it's tough at first, but as you keep doing it, you'll start to feel better and better. And you can look at that wall every time you're feeling a little down. I think that's a good thing. And sometimes I write like a positive memory on the day. And sometimes it's something little, like I played Uno with my mom, but that was a good part of the day. So I stick it right on there. And I think that's a little thing everyone can do. Um, but I think when somebody has a suicide attempt, you don't realize the impact it can have, because if you were to pass away, there's a lot of people that you don't realize are going to miss you. And then if you live, a lot of times there are long-term consequences. Like I'll always have a brain injury. A lot of good came out of that. But that's why I'm very big on suicide prevention. And then, like I said, I think everyone has a purpose, even if that purpose is just making somebody around you smile. Like my purpose is definitely being there for my mom. She enjoys my company, and I know she'd miss me if I weren't here. Kind of learned that, and so, like I said, you gotta find those good coping skills that get you through the hard times. And you might have a low, but then you'll find once you get through it years later, you might have a really good life later on. Um, like I said, compared to I had that low 3 years ago, but now I've got a pretty good life. So, I mean, I'm really glad I lived at the end of the day. And so I strongly advocate to people that when you're in that moment, that you shouldn't let a temporary thought make that permanent choice for you. Because later on, good things are going to happen, and you'll kind of get through that. Things are definitely going to get better for you. So yeah, I say put your energy into good things, volunteer, definitely find hobbies that relax you, healthy coping skills, and look for the positives each day. That'd be my advice.
I'm going to interject, Brittany. Your story is amazing, number one. You're amazing, and I'm thankful that you have purpose, and sometimes purpose is just making somebody smile that day. And I like the simplicity of your message. What did you say when you said a temporary thought make a permanent? I missed that.
Yeah, you shouldn't let like a temporary thought make a permanent choice, because sometimes in the moment you're really down and you might think of suicide, but that's temporary, that sadness is temporary. Eventually you'll get through it and it'll go away. But the decision to commit suicide or attempt it is permanent. That's a permanent choice. You can't kind of take that choice back once you do it. So I definitely think you shouldn't let a temporary choice make a temporary thought make a permanent choice for you. And another thing that I learned later on, like people that are really anxious, fear is false expectations appearing real. That's what somebody told me once, and it stuck. So I liked that. I ended up meeting, like I said, a lot of good people through my brain injury that gave me a lot of good advice and positive advice. And a lot of positive saying. I think everyone needs a motto that kind of gets them through the day. Like I have a friend who, they live in Florida, and one of the things that got me through my motto when I was feeling down is she'd say, it's okay to have a bad day, but you got to straighten your crown, kind of like a princess, because I like Disney. And you got to remember whose daughter you are and pick your head back up. And that always helped me on a bad day. I think having those mottos and positive affirmations are really good.
And I think before we started this whole thing, we had a little bit of a conversation, and you said you learned different ways to cope. And I think, like, watching my daughter, who was 23 at the time with a head injury from a soccer game, a little bit different, she had to find different ways to cope. And through that difficulty, there was resilience. And I liked that you touched on that you had resilience you didn't even know you had.
Yeah, I didn't realize how resilient I was, and that I was able to bounce back like that. So I thought that was one of the cool things to find out at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I just did a little thing with Lee Glynn, and he said this, which I thought was cool. If it's to be, it's up to me. Like,
Yeah.
you've made some big decisions coming from a difficult spot in your life. And you're going forward and you're impacting people. And I'm glad you're on YouTube. And I'm glad that I don't even know what the other one is, but
it's Twitch. It's a similar content creator platform. It's more around gaming and live streaming. And I like to make all kinds of videos. Sometimes I do crafting, cooking, gaming. It just whatever I feel like that day. And so I get to share things with people. And like I said, I get to make them smile. Like around Christmas, I did a thing where I went around and I videotaped the Christmas lights, and I put a little video of Christmas lights each day as kind of a Christmas themed thing, because I like that. I found it was really positive.
Oh yeah, who doesn't like Christmas lights, really?
Well, I love them.
You know, I would definitely like to end on that note that you said. We don't realize the effect that we have on the people around us. And
it could even just be like a neighbor across the street. We have a neighbor, and we used to give them hand-me-down clothes or old toys that we had. And we have a neighbor who's got a granddaughter, and I had a bunch of old toys when I was younger. And once in a while, I'll give stuff to her. And her daughter, absolutely loves my mom. And my mom has this picnic area outside, and to a little kid, you think of it as like from Beauty and the Beast, like an outdoor castle area. And so she's got a granddaughter, and she asked my mom if she'd come over and just have a picnic there. And my mom said, yeah, and it made her whole day. I mean, her grandmother sent my mom a picture, and that was pretty cool. So my mom did something really small, but it made a big impact.
Yeah.
I definitely think people need more of that sense of community and kind of positivity.
Absolutely. They once here in Portland, they have a brain injury conference, and you can fill out like a survey to whether or not you could be a speaker and share your story. And I'll tell you, Brittany, your story needs to be shared. I think it does a lot. And I would encourage you, if you think you could do that, to look into that. And
yeah, I'd like to at some point.
At some point, maybe we could send you the information, and I can sit there in the audience and say, oh, wow, I know her. But anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. I'm going to end the recording now, but don't hang up. I just want to chat with you a little bit more. Okay, wrong button.